Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Mauricio felt emotional about this photo of gorgeous Kyle Richards and their daughters. After the RHOBH cast member shared a photo with their daughters, Mauricio Umansky couldn't resist the urge to comment. Kyle Richards has 4 people to lean on in her life, no matter what she's going through. Of course, we're referring to her daughters, Portia Umansky, Alexia Umansky, Sophia Umansky, and Farah Brittany Al-Jafri. And the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast member recently posted the most stunning look at her life with her girls on Instagram, in which she also opened up about their special bond. The ode to her girls comes as she navigates her ongoing split from their dad, Mauricio Umansky, who, as it turns out, had some feelings about the photo. "So grateful for my incredible daughters," she captioned the sun-drenched photo of herself and her 4 girls looking stunning in floral dresses and headbands. Mauricio didn't miss the chance to compliment his daughters and estranged wife. "So cute," he commented with several heart emojis. "You all look gorgeous." While the estranged couple has been making time for their daughters amid their separation, they have also been spending time with their friends. Mauricio recently shared a look at some of the inner circle he's been hanging out with as he looks forward to a busy summer ahead of him. He not only has been hitting the beach with his buddies, but he's also been hard at work with the team he works with at the agency, including Mercedes MJ Javid. Kyle has also been making time for her pals. She recently reunited with Lisa Rinna and Dorrit Kemsley at daughter Alexia's engagement party. Teddy Mellencamp was also in attendance at the bash. She and Kyle have been spending a lot of as Teddy navigates her cancer battle. Kyle and Mauricio recently came together for Alexia's engagement party in May, which took place at the family's home in Encino. The celebration was so special that weeks later, Mauricio shared a family photo from the event, which included him and Kyle posting together. While Kyle and Mauricio have been separated since 2023, the pair has yet to get divorced. Still, both Kyle and Mauricio have shared positive updates on how they've been handling their relationship amid their separation. You can hear more from Kyle about how she and Mauricio are handling being there for their daughters by checking out the video at the top of the post. Find out more on how Kyle and Mauricio's daughters are doing amid their split. Mauricio Umansky never expected a single photo to hit him with such an emotional wave. But there he was, sitting in his quiet office on a sunny LA afternoon, staring at the glowing image of Kyle Richards and their daughters. The world around him seemed to blur, sound and motion fading as memories surged through his chest. It wasn't just a photo, it was a reflection of years, love, change, and everything he cherished. The photo had just gone up on social media. Kyle stood in the center, radiant in a soft, flowing summer dress, her smile wide and genuine. Flanking her were their 4 daughters, Farah, Alexia, Sophia, and Portia, each stunning in their own unique way, looking like a living mosaic of the life they'd built together. The lighting in the photo was golden, the kind of California glow that felt nostalgic even in the moment. They were all laughing, not posed, not perfect, just real, and that was what caught him. Mauricio felt something tug deep inside him, pride certainly, but also something deeper, harder to name. "Look at them," he whispered, almost to himself. "So beautiful, so full of life." To the world, Kyle Richards might be a beloved reality star, an actress, a fashion icon. But to Mauricio, she was still the girl who had lit up every room from the moment they met, the woman who had walked beside him through life's highs and lows. And their daughters, he had watched each one of them grow from tiny, curious beings into strong, thoughtful women. Now looking at this photo, he saw the passage of time painted in love, humor, and the stubborn, messy kind of togetherness that only families like theirs could understand. He remembered the early days, sleepless nights rocking babies to sleep, soccer games on the weekends, laughter echoing through the halls of their home, Kyle's spontaneous dance parties in the kitchen, and Sunday brunches that stretched into the afternoon. But he also remembered the tough times, the misunderstandings, the strain that came from living life in the public eye, the disagreements that hurt more because they came from people you love the most. And yet, they were still standing, stronger, maybe even better. This photo, in its simplicity, somehow captured all of that. Mauricio smiled through the tightness in his chest. There was something undeniably powerful about seeing all the women in his life together like that. Gorgeous, he murmured. Not just physically, though that was obvious, but emotionally, spiritually. They radiated something intangible. They carried the fire and heart of their mother, the resilience of their upbringing, and their own individual spark. It wasn't lost on him that Farah, Kyle's daughter from her previous marriage, had always called him Mauricio, but had always felt like one of his own. Watching her grow into her own career, her own success, had filled him with such quiet admiration. And then there was Alexia, his mini-me, as everyone joked. Strong-willed, determined, with a sense of humor as dry as his own. Sophia, the intellectual and creative one, had always danced to her own rhythm, and Portia, the baby, the firecracker, who still, even as she was growing up fast, looked at him with that sparkle in her eyes. The photo made him realize just how far they'd all come. He thought of Kyle, standing so effortlessly at the center of it all. No matter what storms had passed around them, she remained the glue, the sun. Their love had shifted over the years, evolved, matured, faced tests he never thought they'd face, but there was always something anchoring them to each other. A foundation built not on perfection, but on shared history, deep care, and that ineffable force that some people simply call home. This image reminded him of why everything mattered. Not the TV appearances, not the flashy parties or real estate deals, not the headlines. It was about them, his girls, their bond, their laughter. Mauricio gently picked up his phone, his fingers hovering over Kyle's contact. He wanted to tell her. Tell her that she looked more than beautiful in that picture, that she looked loved, that the girls radiated her strength, that he was grateful for every chaotic, wonderful day they'd shared. Instead, he simply texted, "That photo made me cry. You're all so beautiful. I love you." No emojis, just the truth. As he set the phone down, he sat back in his chair and let the feeling wash over him. Gratitude, nostalgia, love, and something close to awe. He knew that life would keep changing, his daughters would continue to grow, Kyle's career would keep evolving, and their story would take new twists. But this moment, this image was something he'd carry with him. A snapshot of everything that mattered. Mauricio Umansky sat on the edge of his leather couch, his phone glowing softly in the dim evening light of his Beverly Hills home. He had just finished a long day, one of those days where the noise of business meetings, deadlines, and the weight of reality blurred into a haze. But in a quiet moment, scrolling absent-mindedly through Instagram, he came across that photo. The one that stopped him mid-scroll and left him staring, breath caught somewhere between awe and memory. It was a candid photo. Not a posed, polished studio shot. No makeup artists, no stylists, no filters, just real life, frozen beautifully in a split second. There was Kyle, his Kyle, standing between their daughters, her hair cascading in soft waves, her face radiant, and her arms draped protectively around them. The caption was simple, something like "My girls," but the image spoke volumes. Something about the light in Kyle's eyes, the closeness of the girls, and the gentle smiles they all shared sent a pang straight through Mauricio's chest. A quiet kind of emotion washed over him. It wasn't sadness, exactly. It was a cocktail of nostalgia, pride, a hint of longing, and an overwhelming sense of love. "Damn," he whispered to himself, his thumb resting on the screen, unwilling to scroll past it. "They're beautiful. Just gorgeous." Of course, Kyle had always been beautiful, there was no denying that, but there was something different in this photo. Maybe it was her vulnerability, maybe the maturity that had shaped her over the years, or maybe just the way the sunlight hit her hair like a halo. Whatever it was, it made Mauricio's heart ache, in the best, most tender way. And the girls? Oh, the girls, Farah, with her quiet elegance and that look of wise composure she always wore. Alexia, vibrant and full of life, her smile always just seconds away from laughter. Sophia, introspective and artistic, always observing the world with a gaze that felt older than her years. And Portia, the baby, though not so much a baby anymore, still clinging to the joy of girlhood, but growing into a woman right before their eyes. Mauricio remembered when they were toddlers, sticky hands, bedtime stories, tea parties on the living room floor. He remembered Kyle dancing with them in the kitchen while dinner simmered, music playing from a little speaker by the fridge. He remembered Portia crawling into their bed in the middle of the night, whispering, "I had a dream," and Kyle holding her close, whispering back, "I'm here." He remembered love, unfiltered, unedited, unscripted. And seeing them all together in that photo brought it all back in waves. He found himself zooming in, tracing the outlines of their smiles, their matching dimples, the warmth that tied them together. Family. Through ups and downs, through career highs and heartbreaks, they were still them. Still connected, still bound by something deeper than time. The photo wasn't just a beautiful image, it was a story. A memory map, a testament. He thought about how far they'd all come, about how hard they had worked to build this life, to raise these strong, kind, complicated daughters. He thought about the headlines, the tabloids, the reality TV cameras that had tried to capture, and sometimes distort, the truth of who they were. But this photo? This was the truth. No gossip, no rumors, just love. He felt a lump rise in his throat. Emotions he hadn't expected tonight. He wasn't the kind of guy who cried over pictures, or at least he hadn't been, but there was something about seeing your life reflected back at you in such a raw and lovely way that cracked something open.